What's up guys, I'm Rasim from raspbian and this is part 2 of our Raspberry Pi AI cluster video series. In this series where we actually use 7 Raspberry Pis to cluster, then use that cluster to program an AI like Jarvis. Now in this video we're going to download Raspbian, we're going to download Putty, we're going to install Raspbian on our Raspberry Pi, we're going to set up all the necessary programs on our Raspberry Pi to get this cluster going. In the next part, I actually reused the footage in my Raspberry Pi cluster computer series where I showed you guys how to cluster Raspberry Pi B+, 4 of them, into a cluster computer. It's the exact same steps that we're going to use. So I didn't want to redo all that footage again, so I'm reusing that footage. So the next part will show you exactly what you need to do. So just follow along the video, and I'll see you guys in the next step.
Now Raspbian is the OS that's going to be installed on our SD cards and connected to the Raspberry Pis. Raspbian is a form of Linux more like Debian. It's a lighter form of Debian, so it runs on the Raspberry Pis. Now we could download Raspbian at www.raspberrypi.org. So open up our browser here and navigate to www.raspberrypi.org. Then click on Downloads. Hit the Downloads button once you get there. Once you get there, scroll down, and we're looking for Raspbian, right? So there's 2 ways you can download the Raspbian. You can use this link here, download torrent, or you can use the download zip link. I recommend using the download zip link. Now, if you guys can't find this URL, I'm going to leave all the URLs in the description, so it should be easy for you guys to navigate to here. Now, again, click on download zip, and it should start downloading. Now, I already downloaded mine, and I'm going to cancel it. But it's about a 934 megabyte file. It's going to take you a little while to download depending on your internet speed. So I'm just going to minimize this here to show you the file. So once you finish downloading image, this is what it's going to look like here. Alright, so now the next step is going to be install this image on our SD card. To do that, we're going to need a piece of software. And that piece of software is called Win32 Disk Imager. And I'm going to leave a link to that URL in my description as well, but I'll show you how to do it. This is the URL here. It's soundforge.net/projects/win32diskimager/. Once you get there, again, this is going to be in my description. Once you get there, you're going to click on Files. Then while in Files, you're going to click on Archive. Then click on the first link you see, the most recent version of Win32Diskimager. So click on it and let it download. And the download should start any second. Alright, so once it starts downloading, let it finish. It's a small download. It's only 11.7 megabytes. So it should take a second or two for you to download. Alright, so once you finish downloading the file, this is what it's going to look like. So you're going to double click this file here. Click yes if it asks you. Click next, accept, next. Follow the instructions. And I already installed mine, so I'm not going to install it again. Just follow the instructions. Once you've finished installing it, you can go to your apps, or it should build an icon on your desktop, but in the apps folder, look for Image Writer, then click on Disk Imager. Alright, so the next thing you need to do is connect your SD card to the slot, and you're going to need to select the right drive here. It normally selects the right drive for you, so make sure it's selecting the right drive. And I'm going to click on this folder here, and we're going to find our Raspberry Pi image. But I'm going to show you, this is the SD card. This is SDHC. This is my SD card. Your SD card will be called something different, and it's drive D. So just make sure you memorize your drive letter. You need to know that. The next thing we need to do is find our image, and I saved my image on the desktop. You have to navigate to wherever you saved your image, and it's this first one here, Wheezy Raspbian, right? So we're going to click on this file here. Don't double click it, just highlight it, open, and let it load it. It's going to take a second or so. That's finished loading. Again, make sure that the right drive letter is selected for your SD card. Again, my drive letter is D. You can find out by clicking here, scrolling down, and looking for your SD card, and right next to it should be your drive letter. So now the next thing we're going to need to do is click on write, because we wanted to write it to our SD card. So click on write, click on yes. Then it's going to take like 5 to 10 minutes to finish writing. So once it's finished writing, I'm going to come back. So once that's finished writing to the SD card, you can click on OK. Here, you can close this. Now it's finished. Alright, so now you successfully installed Raspbian on the SD card. Now we can take out the SD card and plug it into our Raspberry Pi. Now, for the first time, we're going to need to connect to a physical monitor. So we're going to need a HDMI card connected to our Raspberry Pi. Connect the SD card to the Raspberry Pi. Connect a keyboard to the Raspberry Pi, and make sure we have a Ethernet cable connected to our modem, because we're going to need to download a few things.
Alright guys, so this is our 4 Raspberry Pis we're going to use in the cluster. You can add more, you can have less. You need a minimum of 2 to create a computer cluster. Now, when setting up Raspbian for the first time, you're going to need to connect to a physical keyboard, a physical monitor, and you're going to need to connect to the internet. Now, I'm going to show you how to set up Raspbian for the first time. Now, once you set it up for the first time and you completely set it up, everything's working fine, you're not going to need to connect to the monitor or a keyboard anymore. You can, as long as you have another computer and they're connected to the same network, all you have to do is use a program called Putty and remotely access the Raspberry Pi itself. So it's easier. So only for the first time you really need to have a monitor, a internet cable, a keyboard, and everything else. Otherwise, you can just remotely access the Raspberry Pi and do all your configurations from your desktop. So I thought that's cool. All right, so let me show you how to set up. Right now, we're only going to be using one of the Raspberry Pis right now, so that's why I disconnected everything else. Now I'm just going to put this down on the table here. All right, so once we set up Raspbian for the first time, you're going to need to physically connect to a monitor and keyboard. Once we finish setting it up, we're going to download a program called Putty, and with this Putty program, we're going to be able to remotely access our Raspberry Pis from our desktop computer. So again, for the first time, we're going to need to connect a physical mouse and a physical monitor. So make sure you have a HDMI cable connected to a monitor and connect the other end to your Raspberry Pi. There's a port right here on the side. Now we're going to need to connect our Ethernet cable, and make sure you connect this Ethernet cable to your modem or router, wherever you're getting your internet from. And the reason we're doing that is because we need to download some stuff to the Raspberry Pi. Basically, we need to update it with some software. So connect one end to the Raspberry Pi and the other end to your router or modem. Not the router or modem we're going to be used to connect to a cluster, the same router and modem you use to connect to the internet. Now, the next step is to connect our USB keyboard. So connect your USB keyboard to this port here, the USB port in the back. Again, this is only for the first time. Once we set up the Raspbian, we're going to remotely access our Raspberry Pis from our desktop computer. Now, the next step is to take out our SD card and take out the micro SD card part of it. This is the same SD card we just installed Raspbian on. Connect it to the back of the Raspberry Pi. There's a slot right in the back here. It should slide in. Once you click it, you should hear a click and it should go in. Once you click it again, it's going to pop up. But make sure it's in and you're going to hear a click. Now the final step is to connect the power. And this is a micro USB cable, and it's going to be connected to our power source, which is a hub there. You don't have to use a hub, you can use a power brick. But I'm using a 4-port hub just because we have 4 Raspberry Pis, and we're only going to need to connect one cable to power all of them, so it's more efficient. So connect this end to the micro USB port here, and it should start automatically. Once you see the lights blink, you know it's working. So now you can see on the screen here, it's starting to do stuff. All right, so I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see the screen.
All right, so once it's booted for the first time, this is what's going to pop out on the screen. So first thing we need to do is expand our SD card here. So the first one, we're going to click and enter where it says expand file system. Click enter on your keyboard, let it run, and hit enter again. Now the second thing we need to do is overclock the CPU. We're going to scroll down to number 7 where it says overclock, hit enter, and hit enter again. We're going to scroll down to 800 megahertz. We want to overclock this to 800 megahertz, which is modest. Click on enter, let it run, then we're going to hit OK again. Now we're going to go down to advanced options here. Number 8, click on advanced options. Then we're going to scroll down to host name. Click on host name or hit enter. Hit OK. We're going to change the name of the Raspberry Pi to capital P, lowercase I, 01. This is Pi 01. And we're going to hit enter. Now we're going to go back to advanced options, hit enter. Now we're going to go to memory split, and that's A3, hit enter. We're going to change it from 64 to 16. Make sure you change it to 16, hit enter. Now we're going to go to advanced options once more, and under SSH, which is A4, hit enter, and we're going to make sure we enable SSH. Hit enter again, it will enable SSH, hit enter. Now we're finished with that part. Now we can hit tab a few times, hit tab again. Once finish is highlighted over here, you're going to hit enter. Then you're going to be prompted to reboot now. You're going to click yes.
And it will start loading again. Now it's going to reboot and it should start loading again. All right, so once it's finished loading, you're going to see on the bottom here, it's going to ask for a login. We're going to do that in a second, but All right, so on top of here, you're gonna see my Pi IP address right here, and mine's is 192.168.1.6. Yours could be different. So write down your Pi's IP address. We're gonna need to use it later on. Now, for the first time, we're going to need to log into Raspberry Pi. To log into Raspberry Pi, the login is Pi, P-I, hit enter, and the password's Raspberry, so type in Raspberry, hit enter, and it should load for the first time. All right, so now we set up Raspberry Pi for the first time. We don't need to connect to a physical monitor and keyboard anymore. We're going to remotely access the Raspberry Pi using Putty, and I'm going to show you how to do that in the next clip.
All right, guys, so now we're going to download a program called Putty. It's a free program, and this program will allow us to remotely access our Raspberry Pi, so we don't need to physically connect to a monitor or a keyboard. So we can basically, when we set up all the Raspberry Pis, we'll be able to log in using Putty, and we can log in through all of them. Now, so open up your browser and go to Google, and you're going to type in Putty, P-U-T-T-Y. It should be the first link you see, Putty downloads page. And I'm going to maximize this here. I'm going to leave a link to this in my description, so if you can't find it, I'll have a link to the download page in my description. So we're going to scroll down here, and it should be the first link we click on, Putty for 86 processors here. So we're going to click on this first link here, and it should start downloading. It's a small download, so it should take like a second to finish. I already downloaded mine. Once you finish downloading yours, you're going to set it up. So double click on the file, and it should start. Now there's no need to install anything because the file itself is executable, meaning you can run the file you download. So there's no installation process when using Putty. So now let me minimize this page here. So once you double click the file, this is what you should see. It's asking for a host name or IP address. Now we're going to plug in the IP address we jotted down from your Raspberry Pi. It's your Raspberry Pi IP address. Remember my last clip, I showed you how to find your Raspberry Pi IP address. So you're going to jot yours down. Mine is 192.168.1.6. Yours could be different. So remember your IP address of your Raspberry Pi and jot that down here. Then you're going to click on open. Then you're going to click on yes. So now this is the first thing you should see. It's asking for a login. Remember, your login is Pi, P-I, hit enter, and your password will be Raspberry. Raspberry, actually. R-A-S-P-B-E-R-R-Y. Hit enter, and it should load for the first time. So now we've successfully remotely accessed our Raspberry Pi. This is our desktop computer here, and we're accessing our Raspberry Pi, and we could do all the commands. And we could use all the commands and use it exactly the same way we would if we were physically connected to the monitor and keyboard. So this is a cool, neat way to log into your Raspberry Pi without all the unnecessary cable and without having to connect to a second monitor. You can access your Raspberry Pi, you can edit it, you can make changes, you can do whatever you want with it, and still have your full desktop in the background and like surf the web and do whatever. And you can actually copy and paste. So this is going to work out well for our tutorial because we're going to be entering a lot of code. And I'm going to show you where we're going to get all the code from. All right, so I got all the code and instructions from Tinkernut. Tinkernut is a YouTuber that also created a Raspberry Pi cluster. He's an awesome YouTuber. You should check him out. This is his homepage for Raspberry Pi Cluster Computer Part 1. He did an awesome job. He has it organized. He shows you all the parts you're going to need. And this is actually the code we're going to be using to create the Raspberry Pi itself. So I'm going to be using his code here. And instead of you guys typing it in, it's a lot to type in. All we're going to be doing is copying from his page, copying his code, copying and then pasting it on our Putty page here. And then instead of typing everything all over again, we just copy and paste it, and we're going to go quickly through the process. So again, this is Tinkernut's homepage or the web page for Raspberry Pis and how to install them. I'm going to show you his YouTube page here. Again, he's an awesome YouTuber. He has a pretty big following. You type in Tinkernut in YouTube, T-I-N-K, Tinkernut here. And this is his YouTube page, and this is his actual YouTube page here. Again, he has a big following. He has 251,000 subscribers. He's awesome, and make sure you subscribe to him. But we're gonna be using his code to set up the Raspberry Pi. So again, I'm going to leave a link to this page in my description. It's www.tinker.com/2014/04/27/make-cluster-computer/. So I'm going to leave a link in the description, and make sure you navigate to the codes page because we're going to copy and paste it on our Raspberry Pi terminal here. And then, again, we're remotely accessing Raspberry Pi through Putty, so all we have to do is copy it from here and paste it on here. So let's make sure let me minimize this so we can see both at the same time. So here we go. This is both at the same time. So now the first thing we're going to need to do is copy the first instruction, right? So just copy this instruction here, sudo app-get update, right? Copy it. And to paste it onto here, you just right-click your mouse and it's automatically going to paste it. So right-click your mouse, as you can see, it automatically just pasted it. So once you paste it, you're going to hit enter, and it's going to start updating. It's going to take about a minute or two to update everything. It's basically just updating all the files that we're going to use for our Raspberry Pi itself. So once that's finished, we're going to highlight the second part here. This part, we're making a directory called mpich2. So just copy this here. Again, all you have to do is right-click on the terminal, and it should paste it automatically. And mkdir is a command to make directory, and we're making a directory called mpich2. Hit enter. That's done. Now we're going to copy this third part here, and this is going to cd is code for change directory, and we're going into the actual directory we just created. So copy this code, paste it onto here, hit enter. cd again is change directory. All we did was change to this directory that we just created, or the folder we created. As you can see down here, now we're in this directory here. So now we're going to copy this part here. Copy, again paste it here. This part here is going to download something called MPICH. It's going to download MPICH version 3.1. We're going to hit enter. We're going to let it download. It should take about a minute to finish downloading, and it's finished downloading. Now this next bit of code here is going to unzip that download. So it's tar xfz, the file name we just downloaded, MPICH. And this is version 3. This code here is going to unzip it or uncompress it. So copy this here and paste it down here and hit enter. Give it about a minute or so and it should finish. I'm going to copy this next bit of code, sudo make directory /home/rpi mpi. We're making a directory home and also a directory in home called rpi mpi. So just copy this code, right click it here and paste it onto the terminal, hit enter. We finished making these two directories here. Now we gotta copy this bit of code here, and we're gonna copy this. We're making some more directories in the directory RPI, and this next directory is called mpi-install. This is in the RPI directory, which is in the home directory, by the way. So copy this, right click here so it pastes, then we're gonna hit enter so it creates the directory. Now we're gonna make another directory in the home directory. In the home directory, the new directory will be called Pi. Inside that Pi directory we just created, we're creating another directory called mpi-build. So just copy that. I know we're making a lot of directories and it's confusing. All you have to do is just copy and paste. So you don't really need to know exactly what's going on with those directories. So just hit enter. Now we created those directories. Now we need to change directory. We're going to move into one of the directories we just created, and we're moving into the mpi-build directory we created. So cd again is the code for change directory. Copy that bit of code, and we're going to paste it here, hit enter. So now we just changed into this directory here, mpi-build. Now we're going to install something called G4train or G4train. So copy this bit of code here, right? And paste it. This will install G4train. Hit enter. Give it about a minute or so to finish. Once it asks you, do you want to continue? Type in Y and hit enter. Then it's going to start installing. It might take a minute or so to install. It's not that long. Alright, so now that's done. We're going to scroll down on this page here. Now the next step here, we're going to install something called MPI. So just copy this link here, paste it on here, just hit enter and let it run. Again, give it about a minute or so to finish. So now that's done, the next part is sudo make. So copy this code here, copy it and paste it onto the terminal. This is going to take a long time. The next couple commands are going to take like an hour or two each, so be prepared to be waiting a long time. So I would recommend just letting it run in the background, come back a couple hours later, and it should be done. So again, the next couple of commands are going to take a very, very long time. Don't be concerned, it's normal. So now we're going to hit enter, and it should start to make the file. And now it's starting to make the file. This will take a very long time, so don't be concerned again. It's normal. Again, the next couple of commands are going to take a very long time. Just let it run, come back like an hour later, check on it once in a while, see where it's at, but this will take a long time. So when that's done, the next thing we need to do is copy this code here, sudo make install. Now again, this one's going to take a very long time as well. So this is going to take like an hour or two, just like the first code here did. So again, copy sudo make install here and paste it onto here. Now hit enter and be patient, it will take a long time. So I'm going to come back once this is finished. So once that process is finished, now we got to change directory. So cd, hit space, and do double dot and hit enter. Now we're back to our root directory. Now we're going to copy this file here. We're going to edit this file. So just copy this code here and paste it here. Hit enter. So now we're going to copy this code here. Right click it, copy. And on the terminal here, we're going to use our down arrow to go to the bottom of this text document here. At the bottom of the document under FI, hit enter to give it some space. Then we're going to right click this here and paste it onto the terminal. We're going to hold down control. While you're holding down control, press 6, then X. Then when prompt, type in Y, then hit enter. So now we saved it. Now we're going to reboot the Raspberry Pi. To do that, you're going to type in sudo reboot. Hit enter. Give it about a minute or so to come back. It's going to give you this error, server unexpectedly closed the network connection. So click on OK, just let it run. And you can actually just close this here, right? And open up Putty again. You're going to type in the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. Mine's is 192.168.1.6. Yours could be different. So again, I told you earlier to jot it down. Now click on open. Now again, we're going to log in using Pi as a username. Hit enter, and the password is raspberry. Hit enter. Now we're going to copy this bit of code here. And once we copy this bit of code here, let's paste it here. Once we hit enter, if we hit enter and it gives us the name of our Pi, we successfully did everything above. So let's hit enter. And it successfully gave us the name of our Pi. So whatever we did before, it worked. So that's a relief. Pat yourself on the back. You got this far. We're almost to the end of this video. There's going to be another part covering the other stuff, but we got a little more coding to do. Now that it returned our Pi name successfully, we know that all the installation is working. Now we're going to scroll down to the next part. All right, so the next part here, we're going to install something called MPI for Pi. This is a Raspberry Pi to Python interpreter, and we're going to be using Python to be able to create programs to take advantage of the cluster computer environment. Now, the first thing we need to do is copy this bit of code here, copy it, then paste it here, hit enter, let it run. It's going to build the Python development kit, let it run. All right, so when that part's finished, now we're going to copy this code here. And this code, let's paste it, we'll download MPI for Pi. So just copy and paste it there, hit enter, let it run, and it should take about a minute or so. Once that's finished, we're going to go to the next bit of code. This next bit of code here will unpack or unarchive the file we just downloaded. It's like unzipping it basically. Okay, we pasted this here. Now before you hit enter, hit .tar.gz. So copy this bit of code here like I just did. I copied it, I pasted. Before I hit enter, I hit .tar.gz. Now we can hit enter. let it run. It's going to extract it. It finished extracting. Now we're going to change the directory. We're doing cd to MPI for Pi, the new directory that was just created when we extracted the MPI for Pi file. So let's click on that. Let's hit enter. We just changed to that new directory. Now we're going to set up the Python. So this is setting up Python. So let's copy that, paste this here, hit enter, let it run. Okay, that part's done. Now let's right click this here, copy this. Actually, before we paste it, I just copied it. Now before we paste it, this next part we have to type in sudo first. So click on here, type in sudo, S-U-D-O, hit space. Then we could paste the code we just copied. So sudo python setup.py install. Hit enter, let it run. It's going to install. It might take a little while. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to do the next part. The next part, we're exporting this path into MPI for Pi directory. So copy this. All right, so let's just paste the regular code here, hit enter, let it run. It finished. So now we're pretty much at the end here. Remember, this code here, you don't need the sudo. I typed it in, it gave me an error message. You do need the sudo for one of these parts here. But this part, you just copy and paste it normally. Now, let's copy and paste the final bit of code here. Copy this. Now, this final bit of code, and we're going to paste it here. Let's not hit enter yet. This final bit of code will test out to make sure that the Python interpreter works. So if the Python interpreter works, it's going to print out the hello world with the pi number a couple of times. So let's hit enter, and it worked. It printed out hello world, I am process, and then the pi number. So everything we did worked. So we pretty much are at the end of this part here. And now we can close this here, and we can close this here. So now we're finished with the coding for this video. Now, before we end the video, we have to do one more thing. We're going to create an image, and this is the SD card we've been working with. It's the way we create an image of it is to open up WinDisk Imager again, click yes. This is the installer, sorry. Open up WinDisk Imager, that's the file you downloaded. This should pop up here. Now we're going to click on this here. We're going to give our file a name, right? So we're going to give our image file a name. You could call it whatever you want. I'm going to call mine, actually let's save it on the desktop. So I'm going to call mine my first name, R-A-S-I-M, Rasim underscore M-P, I'm sorry, R-P-I underscore cluster. Whatever you name it, you have to add the .img at the end of it. So name your image whatever you want. I called mine Rasim underscore RPI underscore cluster. Whatever you name it, make sure you add the .image or else it won't work. Now, if you guys had trouble creating the image and nothing worked for you, and you want a copy of the image that I created, I'm going to leave a download link to this entire image in the description. Now, it's going to take a while to download. It's like a 3 point whatever gigabyte file. So it'll take some time to download, but if you guys were having problems, or if you just want to bypass all that coding we just did earlier, you want to download the image and go to the next part, you can do so. The link is in the description. Now we're going to click on open. So now we got to take out the SD card from our Raspberry Pi, the one we just created. Take it out from the Raspberry Pi and connect it to your computer, because we're going to need to make an image. And this image we're going to copy to the rest of the Pi, so we don't have to do this process for the other Pis. All we have to do is copy the image of this, save it to our computer, then we can just copy the image to the other SD cards in a bypass doing all this code for the other Pi. So disconnect the card from your Raspberry Pi, connect it to the computer. Once you connect it to the computer, select the drive letter here if it doesn't do it for you already. Then we're going to click on read. Give it about a couple of minutes to create the image. So when that's finished, you can click on OK, then click on exit. Now this is the image that we just created. So again, we're going to use this image to copy to all the other SD cards, and those SD cards we're going to connect to the Raspberry Pi. So we bypassed doing all that code for all the other Raspberry Pis. You only have to do this once. You copy the image to the other SD cards, and the other Raspberry Pis are good to go. So to burn this image to the other SD cards, it's the same as when we burn the raspbian image onto the SD card. All you have to do again is open up Win32, click OK or yes. Then you have to select the directory where the image is located. This is the image that we just created and I saved. So open this image here, and now all we have to do is burn it to the SD card. All we have to do is press right, and it's good to go. Other than that, make sure that all your SD cards have this image burnt onto it. Connect all the SD cards to your Raspberry Pis, to all the Raspberry Pis. And in my next tutorial, we're going to pick up where we left off. Again, if you guys want a copy of the image that I created, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you could bypass all the coding we did and just download it and then do it from here. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this part.
Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys like this video, please give me a like. If you disliked the video, give it a dislike. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'm Rasim from raspbian.com, and thank you for watching.